Hello and welcome back to Inquisitor Martyr. Last time we continued on with our Void Crusade, and this time we will keep going with that. Because we gotta go here, then I think here. Should we... Yeah, we'll put some modifiers on it. Yeah, it's completely doable. So last week was the Sony State of Play, which if you missed it, you didn't really miss out on much. I'm about to run over what I think is worth noting. But yeah, it wasn't super remarkable. There was more exclusives going to PC, which is whatever. I do find it kind of rich when people keep saying PC is the future for gaming right now, and I'm like, I feel like nowhere is really the future at this current moment. Part because these games are so horribly optimized that you're gonna need a good PC to run them at anything decent. And honestly, it's just, with how expensive parts are right now, it's hard to really tell people, hey, get invested in PC right now. But there was that. There was Until Dawn is getting remastered, which they really screwed up already because they showed... I think the actor is Rami Malek, I want to say. But in one scene he has this monster mask on, and in the original version the eyes are all black, which really made it look creepy. And in the new version, they gave him like his normal eyes, so they look really defined and noticeable and kind of take away from that inhuman monster look. Which I know isn't a big deal, but I'm like, that you probably should have kept. There's a Silent Hill 2 remake, I guess. I don't care. When it comes to Silent Hill, my whole approach is, we've kind of already played it, and I can't remember who it is that's doing the remaster. I just remember they don't do super good jobs at the remasters, so I don't expect much. Some people have complained like, oh, the combat, and I'm like, I'd like to see the combat improve, but I also remember, I think it was Silent Hill Downpour, where you were doing like combat rolls. And it's like, I'm sorry, if my choices are clunky combat or having your character like square up against the random monster dog and hit like a 50 punch combo on it, I'd rather just have clunky combat. But there was that, there was some more Dragon's Dogma 2 footage, which at this point I'm looking at it like I'm good. I don't need more footage of the game. Even though it was, I think, a new vocation they're showing off, I was just like, okay. Personally, I feel like stuff like that isn't necessary to show, because if you didn't sell people on the game itself through gameplay and showing some of the bosses and enemies, I don't think showing a new class is gonna make people magically go, oh, I wasn't interested, but now that you showed this class, I'm suddenly interested. But I guess, on the other hand, any footage is good footage. I know, I keep seeing stuff for Helldivers 2, which, as this video comes out, I should be playing it. If you guys are interested, I can record Helldiver stuff. I probably will do a little bit anyways, but I can always do more. There was that, there was... God, what else was there? Oh yeah, Hideo Kojima's making 3 games. Which... I said it before, I'll say it again. Someone needs to tell the man no. Because he showed more stuff for Death Stranding 2, aka Norman Reedus and the Funky Fetus. And there's a guy from the first game, but he's wearing like this orange pseudo power armor looking stuff with an electric guitar that shoots lightning when you play it, but it also functions as a battle axe. And apparently he's part... This is the thing I find funny. So he's wearing like Joker paint on his face, wearing this armor, playing a guitar like he's a noise marine, and the group he's fighting with is called the Homo Demons. And I was like, yeah, that's the most Slaneshi name I can think of. But yeah, it's a Kojima game. There's that OD, which I still don't care about. And then some new tactical espionage game called Fizzant currently. Which people are like, oh, it's gonna be a new Metal Gear. I'm like, knowing Kojima, it's gonna be like some absolute crack-fueled nightmare dream of a game. Because it's like, clearly no one's telling him no, so he's probably gonna do something stupid or insane. And it's like, at this point, I'm just kind of tired, because the new stuff that he showed, of course, another celebrity, I can't remember who the hell it was, just another celebrity. I'm like, oh, so how much did you pay to use this guy in this? Because it's like, stuff like this, I'm just, at this point in how the industry's been going, I look at this kind of stuff like, oh, so you wasted more development money on this crap, on getting some actor or somebody to show up and be like, I'm Scrimblow Bimbus. Thanks for the $4 million to get me to show up and say this. And of course, if it's... knowing Sony, they probably gave him money for it. Like, if we get it for exclusive for a year, we'll give you all this money. And it's like, please don't. If you're going to waste money, at least waste it on something I care about. Yes, I understand that's very self-centered. But none of the other exclusives that Sony's pulling out are really grabbing me. I'm not sitting here, you know, hyping up The Last of Us Part 3. I'm just like, yep, that's another thing I don't buy. God forbid we just get an FPS game. Ooh, what's that? It's crap, okay. Let's not bump any challenges up just because there's a servo skull and I want to be able to knock that out as fast as possible. That was fun, the game crashed. Started the mission and instantly it was like, nah. But going back with State of Play, there was a new Metro game announced. I got really excited, and then they said, oh, it's VR. And I was instantly just like, oh, okay. I get it. VR needs more stuff to really justify it. But it kind of sucks when it's like a franchise I really enjoy getting an exclusive VR game. I'd rather see a new Metro game come out and get a VR version, kind of like how there's Skyrim VR and Fallout 4 VR. Because that's fine by me, as long as I can play it without VR, because VR headsets are kind of wonky. Because, like, I remember using a PSVR, the first iteration, and it didn't have, like, a progressing slide of fit. It was just, like, a number of kind of ratchets you could put in to close it in, and it's like, okay, it would fit, but it would not be close enough to the next, like, ratchet level to fit. So everything would be just out of focus because it was just far enough away to blur my vision. And so it's like, because of stuff like that, and obviously the headsets are expensive, I'm just like, oh, so not really gonna get a VR setup anytime soon. Which kind of sucks, because I'd love to do, like, for PC at least, Fallout 4 VR. I think you could do a lot of fun stuff with that. But yeah, there was that. Zenless Zone Zero, more or less just going, hey, remember, we exist, guys, we're coming. And I'm like, yep. Sometimes some of these trailers, I'm just like, you didn't really add anything, you just kind of reminded us you existed, and we already knew you existed. But then there was, this is one that's kind of funny to me, there's the game Judas, which is made by Ken Levine and his studio. Ken Levine made BioShock. He didn't want to be known as just the BioShock guy, so what does he do? He makes BioShock in space. And I'm serious, you watch the trailer, it's BioShock in space. The art style, both for like character models and stuff, and overall setting art. The fact you can still use kind of like Discount Dan's Totally Not Plasmids. Everything about it is like, it's just BioShock. Which, on one hand, it's fine, I like BioShock. But it's just the irony of being, of saying, oh, I don't want to be the BioShock guy, but all you make is BioShock derivatives. But yeah, the rest of it wasn't really noteworthy. They had to set aside a moment to say, don't worry guys, we're gonna show you more Final Fantasy stuff. Actually, that should have come out by the time this video is out. At this point, setting aside like another state of play, like a week later, just for Final Fantasy VII, I'm tired. I'm really just kind of worn out on Final Fantasy VII. I'm like, just release this and be done. But at this rate, I am expecting this game, this next Final Fantasy VII, to end on a cliffhanger, be like, buy our next Final Fantasy VII part! And people will spend the next 3-4 years just hyperactive, just bouncing up and down, hyperventilating, waiting for the next fragment of the game. Which I've said before, I do find it funny how Square Enix let go of all of their Western studios, and now they've realized, oh, all we make is Final Fantasy. It's like, yeah, you You never took stock of that? I felt like that was kind of a dead obvious thing to notice here. But yeah, I saw some people who were like, oh, are we gonna get some big new announcement? And the whole time I was like, we're not gonna get any big new announcements. They're gonna save those for, at this point, Summer Games Fest. Because why announce things on your own when you can try to, and I especially emphasize, try to one-up everyone else? Granted, it doesn't really mean as much when you don't have, E3, where you really had to bust out the fanciest trailers, the coolest stuff. Now it's just like, yeah, here's our kind of bigger announcement time, but the rest of June you're probably going to do something anyways. I'm still mad E3 died. Now all we get is Jeff Keighley every time. And him just absolutely sucking up to Kojima every time that man walks out on stage. That's actually kind of a question I have. When did it really become the thing where games shifted from, hey, I made something fun, to these weird art house numbnuts just going, oh, I want this super esoteric design. It's about the story that no one really cares about. Like Death Stranding. Having to mash buttons so that I don't drop packages while I'm running. Design ideas like that deserve banishment to the Detroit of hell. It's like it's not fun. I'm not enjoying being the package delivery man. The only kinda esoteric game that I genuinely enjoyed was the Tomorrow Children. And I think I remember people were trying to revive that game, but they're also trying to sell it instead of make it free to play. I don't know if that came out and failed, or what happened to that, because I'm just racking my brain now. That just kind of evaporated. Shame, because it was actually really fun. And when I was really starting to lean into doing YouTube, I was like, yeah, I'm going to do a video or a couple videos on this game, and then I came to find out they'd already taken the servers offline. I was like, oh. Okay, then. Yeah, I'm just trying to think, like, when it comes to further down the road, Summer Games Fest type beat, I don't even know what I'm looking forward to. Toxic Commando. I'm interested in that. But I'm worried. Not because, like, John Carpenter's on it, that's half the reason I'm interested in it, is him and then zombies. But it's also just the fact of a lot of games kind of suck. And people have said it's because of woke stuff. Some people say it's people are getting into the industry who don't actually care about video games or don't play video games, so they don't understand what's actually fun. They care more about a message. I've said a number of times it's because you're now beholden to shareholders over the studio itself. So everything's built to turn a profit as opposed to make money but also be entertaining. Which, speaking of turning a profit, I just remembered Fortnite's doing like a Ninja Turtles crossover. And I'm just sitting here going, great, now my description of having Travis Scott, a Xenomorph Master Chief, and Spider-Man fighting Goku, Naruto, the Terminator, and a Stormtrooper. Now I can even throw the Ninja Turtles in there hitting the gritty. I just sound like I'm a homeless man who's on, like, drugs or has mental issues, just screaming incoherently. Like, I saw Donatello hitting the gritty and then he sniped a man. This sounds like someone with issues trying to describe something. Or it sounds like a 5-year-old. Like a 5-year-old who grabs their action figures and is like, yeah, the Incredible Hulk's gonna beat Darth Vader to death in the Barbie dream home because who cares, I said so. And as a kid, sure, whatever, you know, you do you, but when it's a game, it's like, this is just weird, dude. But they gotta keep the money coming in somehow. Can you imagine how their shareholders would feel if they just stopped doing this crap? Granted, I feel like some of them would probably be like, yeah, this is probably for the best. I was expecting more pop-ups than just the one. This game has me semi-paranoid because sometimes I'm like, okay, I did a thing, now there's gonna be like 7 pop-ups saying a bunch of garbage. And then sometimes the game is just like, nah, here's just your rewards. We're good. Alright, I'm not gonna finish that right now. But that is all for now. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit the like button. It helps out the channel a lot. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.